Hey, this is Jason, 4W Knives. Got a project today. I'm going to take this piece of farm equipment. I don't know what the equipment that it came off of is called, but my guess would be a rake or something like that for disking or plowing fields. But anyways, we've got this. I'm going to turn it into a camp knife using some forging techniques and using some new forging techniques, which I'll tell you here in a second. It's a little over 1/4 of an inch thick, so I'm going to put it in a roller mill and thin it out a little bit. I'm going to also use some different ways of putting in the bevels. I've been paying a little more attention to some of the videos that I've been watching of other bladesmiths and blacksmiths that probably know a lot more than I do. And normally when you put in bevels, it makes the blade curve. So what they do is, instead of putting the bevels on this side, they'll put them on this side, and the natural curve curves back, and you end up getting the right shape that you want. So I'm going to try that. We'll see how it works. I'm hoping to get about a 6-inch blade with maybe 11 inches total. It'll be close to that. Shape is already pretty defined, so it won't be a whole lot. I'll need to narrow it a little bit on the width, but outside of that, not a whole bunch other than shaping the handle. So I'm hoping it can be pretty quick video, because I've got a couple other videos coming that I'm going to start this weekend. One of them, I don't know how well you can see it, that is a bunch of fish hooks. So I'm going to do some fish hook Damascus, and I don't know where I did with the ball bearings. Right there. I've got 1,000 little ball bearings. I've been wanting to do this since I started bladesmithing. Finally pulled the trigger and ordered some on Amazon. And so I'm going to do some ball bearing Damascus and some fish hook Damascus. Those will probably be my next 2 videos. So you can look down the road for those. Today though, I'm going to make this camp knife out of this farm equipment. And just sit back and watch my process, and maybe it'll help you with your process. Maybe it won't, but hopefully you get something out of it. I appreciate it, and enjoy it. If you haven't seen this roller mill or seen how one works, I do have a video where I made a sand my, and it explains the workings of it. What I enjoy about this is it lengthens the billet without widening it, so I have a little bit more control, and it's very easy on the body. It's not very hard to run. I thought I'd show just how much that roller mill stretched it. About a good inch and a half, maybe even 2 inches, I don't know. But gives you an idea how much time that can save. Okay, at this point, I'm trying to narrow the width of it. This is where I'm probably not near as good as an experienced bladesmith or a trained bladesmith or blacksmith. My hammer blows are probably very inconsistent. I know the guys that I like to watch, they're very precise with their strikes and not a lot of wasted motion, but it gets the job done. I work the entire billet down just to get a little bit longer. I will say off camera, once I get this all the way the length of it, I do take it over to the roller mill just to make sure it's all even. I didn't show that, but just thought I'd mention it. All right, on the anvil, I had put a mark where I wanted to start my bevel to get around that 6-inch blade width. Started near what I believe they call the ricasso and moved my way up. Tried to keep even blows on both sides of the edge. Probably didn't hammer the away side as much as what I did the side nearest me, but it ended up coming out pretty balanced. About halfway through this process, I really started doubting trying this new method. It was starting to kind of look funky and a little bit out of shape. But as I got closer to the tip, it started around just as it did in the other videos. So I was happy I tried this. I don't know, I'll probably do it both ways, my old way plus this way, just depending on what I'm making. But I like trying something new. I feel like it made me a little more blacksmithy. But there was definitely a few moments where I was questioning my efforts. But I thought the bevels turned out pretty good. Of course, I'll still have to take it to the grinder and do the rough grind to clean them up, but I feel like it was good. Here I'm setting where the handle's going to begin, and then work my way back. I'll just shut up and kind of let you watch this, and then pick back up once I get to the part where I parked the curve in. Okay, I used the horn of the anvil just to get a little bit of curve on that handle. Felt like it might feel better in the hand. And then right here, I'm using a couple of the dies from my press that I'd made. This isn't railroad track, but it's some type of tracking. And I don't have a flattening hammer, so this works pretty good, believe it or not. I end up using two and hammer at the same time, and it seems to keep it pretty straight. I'll also take it over to the vise where I get it pretty straight on it. At this point, I want to leave this knife with the forged look, so I went in and just did some texturing using the ball peen side of the hammer. Did this on both sides, and I'm not going to do much surface grinding on this one. I want to leave it rough other than the bevels. So. All right, take it to the 2x72 and get it to its final shape. I'll do a little bit of cleanup, and then I'll drill the holes in. But I will have to, which I'm not showing, I'll have to anneal this blade. After I did my grinding, I took it to the drill press and I didn't even scratch it. So I'm gonna go anneal it, heat it up to red tint, and then put it in some ashes and let it cool slowly. And I'll pick back up after that. All right, next day, it's set in my ash bucket all night, so it should be good and annealed. I'll run it over to the drill press and punch 3 holes in it for the pins and the handle, and then I'll take it to the 2x72 and clean up the bevels and try to get them as even as possible before the heat treat. Okay, doing the rough grind on these bevels isn't going to be too difficult. I just start at the edge to make sure that the cutting edge is centered, and I'll work my way to the spine, cleaning it up, trying to remove any hammer marks on the bevels that I can. I'm not going to touch the spine or the area near the spine because I want to leave that textured, hammered look. I've got some things I want to try later, and I'll clue you in on that as we get to that. I'll do my thermal cycle before I do my heat treat. I always like to start with the handle. I'll heat the handle up before I go to the blade. That's where the camera has picked up at this point. And once I get it to an even red throughout the knife, I'll hang it up on the rack and let it cool or not slowly, but to room temperature. And then I'll do this again 3 times. I'm not going to show the next 2 treatments. The next video will be me plunging it in the vegetable oil. Vegetable oil will be heated to 140 degrees, give or take a little bit, and we'll get it quenched. Okay, at this point, knife has been tempered. I did 2 cycles at 400 degrees for 2 hours. Alright, so I'm going to drop it in the ferric chloride for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to ground the bevels clean. Don't know how it'll look, but I think it might be pretty cool. Okay, I've got it out of the etch. I've got it ground down. The bevels are clean. Went 800 grit with a Trizac belt on the 2x72. Once I get the handles glued up, you guys can see the finish on it. I think it's going to look pretty good overall. There are some scratches on it, but I'm just going to leave them. This is supposed to be used outdoors. That's why I'm leaving it the rough look. So I don't want anybody afraid to use it. We're going to use Texas mesquite. I have not used these before. I'm not even sure what kind of grain structure they have, but I have them and I thought it would look pretty cool. I've got it taped up. Here, as you can see, the tape is going to do 2 jobs for me. One, it's going to hold it in place so I can just drill through both at the same time. But it's also going to give a backing on the wood so when the drill bit goes through, it doesn't splinter it as bad. So I'm going to go punch the holes in it, and then you'll see it once I get it glued up, and we'll do our finish shaping. All right, as I do the handle shaping on this camp knife, I thought I'd give you some information. I'm going to do this as a giveaway, so some viewer is going to win this knife. To enter, all you have to do is go to the comment section and type in the words, "I'm in," then the state that you're from. So for me, it'd be, "I'm in from Oklahoma." You can enter 1 time. You do this, I'll put your name in a hat and draw it next Sunday, which is February 27th. 2022. If you are in the United States, I will ship it to you free. If you're outside the United States, you'll need to pay for the shipping. I ask that you're 18 years or older and that you know how to handle a knife and that you're safe with it. If you don't know how to handle a knife, don't enter the drawing. I don't want anybody hurting themselves and then blaming me. Don't get in this if you cannot handle yourself. I plan on doing a sheath. The sheath should be done by the drawing date. If it's not, it may delay shipping just a little bit. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm kind of taking this as a challenge to build this channel a little bit. Started out as fun, and now I'm just kind of feel like a little bit of a challenge. I feel like I'm getting better at these videos. I know I still have a long way to go, but it's kind of fun messing around with it. So I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. And if you haven't checked me out on Facebook, please do so at 4W Knives. Thanks again.